Within Miami sits the historic community of Liberty City. The city is known as a central cultural hub for the African American community during the 1940s and 50s. Since then, because of many cultural and political factors, the community suffered setbacks and isolation due to the construction of the interstate. One of the problems has been the lack of incentives to buy and eat healthy local foods. Now, Liberty City, along with the Education Effect, partner with FIU, has commenced an initiative to bring together the community and offer a solution through the use of an aquaponics system and garden project. The site is located in Northwestern High School in Liberty City, Miami, Florida. The block is contained between Northwest 71st Street and 12th Avenue. The area is known to be an urban food desert, and as such, the school has implemented within itself an aquaponics system to educate and provide the community and students with an urban garden which provides fresh and healthy local grown foods through cyclical systems of the aquaponic. Keeping this in mind, the project was developed through the incorporation of the role that the aquaponic system plays in the site. In essence, these connections are the cyclical patterns that can be formed through the system within the project. There are two main different inhabitants that will occupy the space: students and the community. A central path connects people from parking lot to the school. Furthermore, the layers are seen as interconnected environment, each having a specific function that relate with each other and reinforce the idea of a cyclical pattern. As students, the entrance from school to site is direct and connected to the aquaponics system. As they pass through, there is information of the aquaponics systems lined up in the structure that houses the tanks. The path then leads them to the learning pavilion, which is the transition and anchor space between the aquaponics system and the interactive vegetable garden. The garden then transitions into the rock pylon environment, continuing the cycle from aquaponics, which feed nutrients to the interactive garden, to the pine area, which can be fed through organic waste left over in the gardens or the water collected from canisters in the learning pavilion. The third environment can be adapted for hardwood hammocks, and the fourth environment for marshland and low-lying plants. The ground also slopes upward, having the learning pavilion at the highest point and marshland environment at the lowest point. The same process is mirrored when the community comes from the parking lot towards the school. From that perspective, the visitors are ushered from the learning pavilion through the slope of the land and the visual focus that the pavilion offers. As they enter from the gateway next to the parking lot, they are met by two pools of water that mirror the aquaponic system and serve as a reminder of the role it plays in the site. As they follow the path, they are surrounded by the gardens and ecosystems that are implemented on the site. The pavilion itself is the central point which anchors the collective layers together as it overlaps on all areas. The space and shade provided by the pavilion can be shared and partitioned into different activities ranging from lectures and informational seminars to community gatherings and school and/or community events. The structure was designed to reflect the ideas of layering. Furthermore, each part of the roof structure is pierced by vertical elements that create pockets of green spaces within the pavilion. These vertical elements also have benches incorporated in the structure, which blend with the distant scenery of pine rockland that will inhabit the second environment. Another main function that the green pockets serve within the pavilion is to create different areas inside the structure. These areas can be used for separate events or joined for a central event. The pavilion also has incorporated gutters that guide rainwater into tanks which can be collected as irrigation for the gardens. These features not only work as water collection, but also as a reminder of the cyclical elements of water in the site. All of these processes and layers derive from the articulation of the evolving spaces that transition to and from each other, creating and feeding each level as part of the cycle, all stemming from the aquaponic site. There isn't a beginning or an end, but rather a continuous cycle and contact through the living layers and the inhabitants of the site.